Badger here. Yesterday I was thinking that maybe my septic system spray heads weren't working properly, so I decided to check it out. And so I'm just going to kind of go over a couple of things that I did, some easy things that you can do to check your aerobic septic system. This is for an aerobic system. I've got a Delta whitewater system, but I mean they're all kind of the same. So I'll go over that. I'll also show you a little tool that I built to help me easily do some tests on it. So right now I'm sitting on top of the Aerator, and this is my system right here. Control and cutoff switch. So first thing I'm going to show you is the timer. Make sure that that's working properly. So I'm going to flip this around, and I have another video that shows how to replace this timer or to check for this timer. If you have an alarm going off, that might be a high water level alarm. It could be that your timer has failed, and so you can watch my other video to see how to check that, what to look for and how to check that. But what I did was, on these timers, this is on the automatic setting, so it's going to be controlled by the float switches, and this is the on, and this is off. If you flip this one way, so now it's off, it'll never spray. And what I thought was when I flipped this on it would spray, and it didn't spray. And that's actually not always the case, because if the float is saying it's not high enough, that there's not enough water in the system to activate the pump, it's not going to spray. So I'm going to leave it in this position, and then I'm going to show you, what you can do to just check that. One thing you can do is add a bunch of water. Take a garden hose and go down there and put water in your effluent tank, but I didn't do that. I built this little contraption that's going to allow me to just activate the pump manually. I was really concerned that maybe my submersible pump had failed. So this is the tool I built. Nice long handle PVC pipe. Found an old Cool Whip bucket my wife had saved, and I cut a little slot in that for the cable for the floats, and then you can just kind of get the float inside this area here. And then I just punched some holes in it, and actually drilled them into here, and then zip tied it. And make sure you zip tie it really, really tight. You don't want this thing falling off into your tank. But this makes it super easy to just reach down and pick up the floats and check the operation. So let's just go down to the tank and see what's going on down there. We're at the tank. I was pleased to see that there's actually a coupling on here to be able to pull this thing up if I needed to. Turns out I don't need to, but so you can see way down there, that is the float for the pump. That's kind of like the low limit float. The yellow one is the high limit float. So if the water gets too high, that yellow one, when you lift it up, it should activate the buzzer. So let me do that first. I'll get down here with my handy dandy tool and grab the float and lift it up. I don't know if you can hear that, but the buzzer went off. So that float is working properly. Now, I also want to show you that there's a sample port here and a valve, and this valve is not completely shut, and I want to make sure that you understand not to completely shut the valve thinking, oh, well, somebody didn't close it all the way. You know, this is where the water's going to get pumped out. But you want to have that valve slightly open, because if there is some kind of blockage up by your spray heads or, you know, anywhere in the line beyond this point, the water's not going to be able to pump, and you could potentially burn out your pump. So you'll see there's going to be a little bit of water coming out of there when I lift the bottom float. You know, it's getting pretty close to where it'll go off on its own, but needs a little extra help. So down we go. Lifting. The sprayer. The pump came on. You can see there's water coming out from that point. Shuts off. So the pump is working, the float is working, and I just want to get clear about the valve. Think about that valve, make sure you don't close it all the way. And now this is the water just flowing back down the hill. My spray heads are up on a hill, so it's just coming back through. So don't close that. And I guess that's about it for now. I mean, it's just a couple of really simple things. Take a few seconds to check your floats and your timer, and make sure everything's working. Hope this helps. Any Badger out. One other thing I want to mention, I haven't done a video on this before, and maybe, I guess the next time I do this I will, but this aerator, you know, there's a little tube that goes up to a pressure sensor inside here, and if the diaphragm fails on the pump, it's going to stop running, and you're going to get an alarm here. And so I want to tell you, you can buy rebuild kits for these pumps, or for these compressors. You know, it's like a diaphragm compressor. You can buy a rebuild kit. The one for this one typically has cost me about $60, and I have rebuilt this thing probably 5 times in the last 20 years. You know, take about 5 years, and then the diaphragms are just rubber, and they're gonna kind of just start ripping, and then finally causes a little pin that detects that that's happened. The pin will break and it'll de-energize, and then the pump's just not going to do anything. So just want to make you aware too that, you know, these pumps are kind of expensive, but you can rebuild them. I've been told by septic guys, well, you can only rebuild it a few times and then you'll have to replace the pump, but I've had this for 20 years and it's still going strong with new rebuild kits. That's it.